Next up is Ken T. Mills. I was wondering if you knew anything about this new Guillermo del Toro movie, Nightmare Alley. I hadn't heard anything about it until they announced today that Leonardo DiCaprio is going to star in it. I completely love The Shape of Water and have been waiting for another film from del Toro. Do you think this can live up to his previous work with DiCaprio working with him?
You know, it's funny. It's hard to imagine with as busy as Guillermo del Toro is, as often as we hear Guillermo del Toro's name in the news, that he hasn't directed a film since The Shape of Water, which, by the way, he won Best Director for and won Best Picture as well. But it is weird to think about that. Hearing him working with Leonardo DiCaprio, DiCaprio just seems to be the guy who just works with all the best directors, and all the best directors want to work with him. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about this Nightmare Alley project that they're working on, this is something that they've been talking about for a while. Anyway, the novel follows, it's based on a novel of the same name, Nightmare Alley. The novel follows the exploits of Stanton Carlyle, a ruthless hustler who learns the tricks of the carny trade and uses them to establish himself as a spiritual guru, preying on the wealthy and on the weak, which now, if that doesn't already sound great enough as it is, there you go. But now put this, I like stepping back and really appreciating the context of things. We're talking about a partnership of two of the greats right now. Truly one of the great actors of our generation in Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the truly great filmmakers of our generation, Guillermo del Toro. I mean, if you just go down a list of highlights of these guys' careers, Leonardo DiCaprio, 5 Oscar nominations for acting. All right. He's got another one as a producer, but for acting, 5 Oscar nominations for acting. He, of course, got his win for The Revenant. Now, we know, oh, yeah, Leo's big, but seriously, let's just appreciate the list of work that he's done. The Revenant, Wolf of Wall Street, Django Unchained, Inception, The Departed, Catch Me If You Can, Gangs of New York, among others. Then you look at a guy like
decade.
And that's just in the last decade. Then you look at a guy like Guillermo del Toro, who's got a mix of artistic and geeky fan base stuff, all kind of mixed in. How many directors can say that? Not a lot. He's got 4 Oscar nominations as a filmmaker with 1 win. He's got The Shape of Water. These are just films he's directed. And look at the diversity in these. Shape of Water, Pacific Rim, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy and Hellboy 2, Blade and Blade 2. This guy's got a diverse package of work as a director. You're putting these two guys together. Rob, I got to tell you, even if it wasn't for the interesting sounding synopsis, and it is a really interesting sounding synopsis, to see a Leonardo DiCaprio play a character like this sounds super intriguing to me. We haven't really seen him do something like that other than maybe in Django Unchained. This sounds fascinating to me. These two guys working together to me is an outstanding proposition. I'm excited for it. What do you think?
Well, I just want to mention that this movie was made. This is actually a remake. The original Nightmare Alley was made in 1947 with with Jerome Power. And I've seen the original film, and I really like it because he's like they talk about him being a carny. I don't know how it was in the original book, but he was like a mentalist, pretending he could read, and I like this movie. I remember seeing this movie first when I was a little kid. And because, you're talking, my grandparents gave me like a magic set, and I was really into.
Nice.
I had no adeptness to be a magician. My sleight of hand skills were 0. So this is definitely a character study, this film. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what DiCaprio does, because I loved a movie that a lot of people don't like, but I love was Shutter Island,
Yes.
and I don't want to ruin that
directed by Scorsese.
Film. Yeah. And he was so great in that. And while the movies don't really have anything to do with one another, they're sort of, in a way, have an element that kind of links them together, I guess. And I can't wait to see his portrayal of this character. I didn't know it was based on a book, to be honest. So I'm excited. I want to go get the book now and read it.
Ashley, you're hearing the synopsis about this. You're hearing about a Guillermo del Toro, Leonardo DiCaprio working together. Does this pique your interest at all? What do you think about this?
Oh, absolutely. I look at the list of these two guys. I mean, it's incredible. But yeah, Del Toro's like his ability to create fantasy on the screen. And when this subject matter comes together with such an amazing lead actor, I feel like it's gonna, I can't see it going wrong. It's gonna be so interesting. And I feel like it's gonna be like really visually satisfying too.
Yeah.
When you look at his films, whole world, the carny world and stuff.
But when you look at the worlds he creates in Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim, like he knows how to, you're so right, Ashley, he knows how to just craft, because a lot of him as a filmmaker, he just has these sketchbooks that he keeps with him, and he's constantly sketching out. He's a very visual thinker, and he just has that innate ability to create these magnificent worlds. And for him to go into a world like this one, I think it's also going to be really visually interesting as well. I think you're bang on that.